Hello, and welcome to another edition of Trash Talk.
Hey,
Brandon's got people climbing over his shoulder. And you look behind me, you think this is just a big heap of wood, right? No. You know what that is? I ordered a log cabin from IKEA,
I
and they dropped it off at the house. And somewhere underneath that pile is the instruction sheet.
was wondering.
Yeah, that's a do-it-yourself log cabin from IKEA.
That's a pretty accurate description of what IKEA does. So and hey, you're on your own, man. I'm out.
And as we established in an earlier show, you don't get any instructions. It's just pictures that says
No,
take this piece and put this piece together, and whatever.
exactly. Hey, I could send some of these guys over, and they could knock it out for you in a few minutes.
You're right.
Lupe. Anyway,
Love it. We as always, every week we start thinking about what can we talk about, and I was thinking about building a log cabin, and we were talking about building a fence and all that kind of stuff, and it got somewhere we got around to walls and fences, and so I mean it can be anything from just a wall to keep the dog in your backyard,
right?
which you can either have pay somebody to do, which I highly recommend, or
Yes.
try to do it yourself.
No.
Did you ever have a dog or something that you built a fence to keep the dog in, but the dog
Well,
found a way to
Well, I
dig its
had a
way out?
dog, yeah. Okay, so I had a little dog. He was like a Shih Tzu mix. He was awesome. His name was Chewy, and when Luke was born, we had to get rid of him. That's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into that. But he's living the good life now. I've seen pictures. He's living like a king, so it makes me feel better. But we had a fence that it was just the generic fence that when you get the house, they put it up. Nothing special except for the one wall because the neighbors got a new one, so we got a nice wall. But the rest of the fence, like I swear to God, I could push it with my finger and that thing was going to explode. And the dog would burrow under it or get through, and I'd be out there, makeshifting it and putting it together because fences are outrageous. They're expensive. And one time, I could probably find the picture of it. I woke up one morning and we just had a big storm. The entire side of the fence was in the alleyway. Like just went. They're so expensive.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had everything from chicken wire fences. Just
Yep.
put a couple of posts in there and put chicken wire to the hurricane or fences, the wire mesh type fences, wood fences, uh, everything. And if you've got an animal, especially a
You gotta
small
have it.
animal, they will find a way. I got a neighbor that's got a little dog that right underneath the door to the fence. It's already dug a little bit, and when you're walking down the alleyway, it sticks its nose out underneath the little opening, and then probably a month later, the dog's now is not only in the nose, but you can see the eyes, and it's just a matter of time
It's
when
gonna.
that dog's gonna.
Well, and you gotta have a fence. I mean, if you got kids, or but even if you don't, like, so my parents in their subdivision, they're not allowed to have fences unless they have a pool, and it can only be around the pool. They're not allowed to have any other fences. And so it's kind of weird to me when I go out there and I look and I got this big yard and I'm like, man, like I could just run from one side of the yard all the way to the neighbor's yard. I'm not used to that because at least here in Texas, like you gotta have a fence, you're
Yeah.
required.
And when I was growing up, we didn't construct fences. You put in hedges.
Like
You
a
know,
natural border. Yeah.
yeah, you just put in some plants, and they would grow together, and they would form a wall that, unless you really wanted to scrape the crap out of your arms and legs,
Yeah.
you weren't going to go through that fence. So it became a border around your house. The only problem was that every year you have to get out there on a ladder and you with the
Trim 'em.
trimmer and try and shape it and do that kind of stuff.
I like fences to a degree. I mean, I don't like the price of them, but I like fences because I mean, it is your yard, it is your own little sanctuary of privacy, and it is an extra like I hate to say safety thing because anybody can hop a fence, but
Right.
as proven by the U.S. Mexico border, but anybody can do that, but it is a privacy thing. Like if I'm going outside entertaining, hanging out, I don't need everybody just watching what I'm doing. It's nice to have that extra privacy sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. So you touched on the border wall, and I always thought that was just so crazy funny. Number one, Mexico was going to pay for it. How did that work
Right.
out? But but to me, I just don't understand. You build a 30-foot wall, okay? Somebody's going to come along with a 31-foot ladder.
Well, they don't even need a ladder. They're just climbing it. They're scaling it. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try to not get serious. I did a podcast with my buddy David, and we really talked about the issue at the border, but I'm not going to do that here. But the bottom line is they just they either tunneled under it, they found a hole, or they scaled it. Like, I mean, give me a break. Like, I understand the idea of it because you can't just have it open, you know?
You're right. There were. I remember seeing pictures where the wall is being built along some canals.
Yeah.
What is a canal made of? Water. When you get a big heavy rainstorm or something, what does the water do? It washes away the dirt on the banks, and that exposes the fence. Now you've just created a great way to get underneath the fence. And you're right. The rungs in that fence, which by the way you can see through, is if you got a good pair of sneakers, man, you can climb up that fence.
And I mean, they got literal video of dudes running down the hill from the other side and Spider-Maning the way up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's that? Because then now you're paying extra guys to be there. And it's the 10th largest border between two countries in the world. So you need it. You have to have it. I don't necessarily know if it's for protection as much as it's just a dividing line.
Yeah, I was thinking that they've got this reality TV show about the American Ninja.
Oh, American Ninja Warrior, yeah.
American Ninja Warriors, and always at the end of the thing, what do? They move back and they run and they jump up and scale this wall. There's guys sitting there saying, "Yeah, man, I just need to back up a little bit further, and I'll bet I could just run right up that wall, grab the top rung, and over I go."
Well, now you don't even have to do that. It's like Disneyland. You just wait in freaking line and get your ticket and walk across it. I mean,
Or one guy stands at the bottom of the wall, and the next guy gets on his shoulders, and the next guy on his shoulders, and you finally get the guy over to the top, and then he pulls the people one at a time over
Exactly.
the wall.
See, guys, they know what they're talking about. These guys back there, they're doing it.
Yeah, they'll climb up there, and then they'll just scale over that train.
They're going to throw me a rope, otherwise I'm stuck in Mexico.
I think the Chinese probably are the ones that did it right. They built the Great Wall, and what was it? It was a great wall that, unless you were a real experienced, mountain face wall climber or something, it wasn't that easy to scale up a vertical wall. You had no footing.
When you can see the wall from space. The Chinese did it right. I mean, granted, there's a ton of dead bodies in there, and unfortunately, they use slaves. But that wall's still standing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, not only that, but if some dude's trying to scale the wall, you can walk on the top of the wall, and all of a sudden, this guy's halfway up the wall, and you look over there and you say, "I don't think so."
yeah, just
Boom.
shoot an arrow down, pop it. There was a movie with Matt Damon. I think it was called The Wall or The Great Wall, and it explained the real reason why the wall was there, and it was to stop these ancient dragons from coming over. It's a cool movie because forget the dragon part, but it does give you like a history of the wall and why they built it. And then, of course, it goes off into this other story. But that's an amazing process to see. That's something that I don't think I'll be in China anytime soon, but that's something I would love to see.
I think you're banned in China, aren't you?
I'm soon to be banned in China. I'm working on it. I mean, North Korea for sure.
Yeah,
China's
Cuba.
next on my list.
I think
so.
Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba.
Where is someplace in Africa too? I think.
Yeah, I've got some things coming up that'll probably ban me, so I'm looking forward to that. But I don't know. I mean, what do you? I don't know. What do you do in that situation though with like walls and stuff? I mean, are they? What do you do? You know?
Well, I mean, what you do is you get a fake ID to get through the wall too.
That's true.
You know, here's my pass. You know, or just come up and with a badge and say, yeah, I'm part of the border security. So open the
And
gate.
just cross over.
Yeah, but you know, we were talking earlier about the wall along the Mexican border and how soft the soil is underneath. I mean, stop and think about it. That wall that they're putting up there, what kind of life expectancy do you give that wall? 20, 30, 40 years? The Great Wall was built how many centuries ago?
Exactly.
And it's still virtually impenetrable.
Yeah.
Back in, when was it, in the 70s or something? How long did it take them to get the Berlin Wall down?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I mean, yeah, look at the Berlin Wall. You know,
They built that. That stood for decades and everything, and they literally took days and days and days once they decided that it could come down. For them to chip away at it, it was about 18 feet thick or something.
That's the thing. It's 2021, and we can't build a wall with billions of dollars. Billions of dollars.
And it's how, what, 40 miles long, and we're up to like mile 16 or something.
I know. I'm like, so now you have a half a wall.
Yeah, right.
Not even a half a wall.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't bother climbing up that wall. I just walk down there a little bit and just go around it. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen some fences around here, around some of these homes in Frisco that put the wall to shame, man.
And in I live in a neighborhood where every property has a wall, and they're mostly wood walls.
Yeah.
And fine, yeah, it keeps the kids and dogs in, and it keeps the other people out. But then again, every couple of years, you got to get out there with a couple of gallons of stain or paint or something to maintain it. So there's always that issue. And the old hurricane fence that you had, which was fine, but it wasn't private because you could see through them, the chain link fences.
Yeah.
But I mean, they build fences out of anything.
Well, yeah, you could back in the day, there wasn't so many regulations or HOA nonsense that you could build it. I mean, I get why they have it now because the fences do look nice, but those people that put up the fences love it because they just jack up the price. And if you get that extra privacy fence that's higher, oh, forget it. You're paying through the roof.
Yeah. You know, and then I have a wall in front of my house because my house is on a little hill, and
Okay.
they make those out of stone.
Nice.
It looks great, except in year 3 or 4 or something, when all of a sudden there's cracks in between the stone.
Oh,
Now you
man.
got to get out there and try and repair that too. And some guy,
Well-
yeah, I can do it. You got an extra $500-600?
Right. We're just gonna see you out there just throwing rocks at it, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and you realize that you also have these two big trees that are in the front yard, and one of the reasons that that wall is cracking is because the roots are growing toward the wall and pushing the
Right.
wall out.
They're pushing yeah, that's the thing. And if those trees have been there for a while, those roots are, I mean, they're coming at you. So then you got the debate of, okay, how do I fix this? Or do I remove the tree? But I can't remove the tree. I don't want to remove the tree. Yeah, that's what we should do. We should have planted. I guess you can't really plant trees though along the border that are that big because of where it's at, right? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I think it was easier to climb a tree than it was to climb a wall.
That's true.
We all learned that as a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of wasted money. I mean, to keep going back to the border, there's a lot of wasted money on that wall. And I know it's not cheap. We see the price tags. I mean, Mexico's not paying for it.
No, no, no. It's mucho dinero.
Instead of if people are just going to come over though, man, could they, instead of bringing guns and everything else, could they just bring me some good food?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we certainly don't need another Taco Bell here.
No, just start bringing over Mamacita's burritos, or
Yeah, yeah. At least if you're coming, bring good food or a new
yeah,
menu.
bring me some good food, like bring me some tequila I've never heard of, like something good.
That's right.
That'll be their token when they come in. Like, here, okay, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here, but I got this bottle of tequila that you guys can't get. Here you go, and there you go. I don't know.
Well, listen,
Just a
offer the bottle of tequila to the border guard and go right this way.
Yeah. Hey, we don't have a Canadian border problem because nobody's swimming across the Detroit River
No,
or Niagara Falls.
right, and they can walk across Lake Erie. They don't have to swim across.
Yeah, I'm not walking across Lake Erie. Freaking no way.
And look at it this way: no, from probably what early fall until spring, there certainly isn't anybody that's clamoring to try and get out of America to cross into Canada because you're just gonna freeze your butt off over there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't hear about anybody sneaking across. But again, though, so with the Canadian situation is we have such a good relationship with Canada. I mean, it's just there. It's also a lot easier for people to get a Canadian citizenship. And then if you want to get a US citizenship, you see they're from Canada. So you're like, okay, no problem. Boom, they come in. So there's no reason to try to sneak. Just go through Canada and live there for a minute.
Yeah, and you don't need a wall. I mean, you could just get yourself a big barrel and go over the Niagara Falls,
Yeah,
and you'll be in Canada, in short time.
no problem.
Well, I may steal some of the wood from my IKEA log cabin and everything, and save it for a fence to put around around my cabin whenever it's finished.
Yeah, I think I don't know which one's going to be done first, your IKEA log cabin or the Mexican wall. I'm not sure.
I'd probably put my money on the Mexican wall because I'll when my log cabin is finished. Not only will I invite you over, but I'll invite your children and your grandchildren.
They're all coming over.
All right. Well, we'll get out of here. We'll come back again next week, folks. Remember the Patriot Sandwich Company, and remember Irving Chung, the our new sponsor, franchise consultant. We'll tell you all about him again next time. And go out and make it a good one. And come on back for some more trash talk next week.
We'll see. I got to get
Bye.
across the border. Bye.